Hello guys, how are you doing? I hope you're doing fantastic. For those of you who are new here, my name is Nikki. This is my channel, The Cheapo Chateau, where we make cheap look good. Or at least we try to. So, if you've been following along, number one, yes, this video is late. Why is this video late? I will tell you. This video is late because I sorely underestimated how long it takes to put together videos like this. So, if you don't know, if this is your first time here or you're not familiar with me, I actually started YouTube about 2 years ago, and my niche on YouTube was houseplants and still is. I still have a houseplant YouTube channel. If you are interested in that, it is always linked down in the description of the video. But yeah, so those videos are a little bit easier to edit. Usually it's a sit down. I either show you some of my plants, I do plant hauls, plant tours, or I do some sort of plant chore, those kinds of things. But with videos like these, not only does so much go into actually doing the projects that I'm showing you, but I end up with literally hours and hours of footage that I have to comb through, edit down into something that's watchable. And that is something that I am, it's going to take me a little while to get used to the flow of things. But I think now the first step is always recognizing that you have a problem. So I think now I'm at the point where I've recognized really what all it takes to put together a video like this. And it's definitely a different editing style than houseplant content. So thank you so much for being so patient with me. I will eventually work out something that works for me, that works for you guys. It might just take a little while to iron out the lumps and the bumps. So thank you for like hanging in there with me. I appreciate it. Okay, so if you didn't see the last video, I am currently in the process of completely redoing my kitchen. So I rent this house. We've been here for about 2 years. This house was built in the early 1990s. As such, a lot of the stuff that's in here is still living somewhere back in the 90s.
Got an idea. Let's do a makeover. No.
So the last video, we updated our cabinets. So we had those old laminate cabinets with those like wooden handles. It's like that go across the bottom. Anyway, super outdated, and I really wanted my kitchen to be a place that I enjoyed being in, that I felt good. Like I can walk into the kitchen and be like, oh. And I was not there. I was not there. I've avoided cooking. Jordan has taken over most of the cooking. And I mean, that's just not a good thing. But I wanted the place, I wanted the house, and especially the kitchen at first, just to be a place that I wanted to be in. So we got the cabinets done, and that was a massive change. It literally took that kitchen 10 years at least into like the 2000s. And I love how it turned out. So then we are moving on to today's video, which is the start of my organization journey in the kitchen. Now, a lot of the areas in my home need some organizational help, like a lot of them, but you have to start somewhere. So if you were to walk into my home at a glance, you'd probably look around and go, wow, this looks pretty organized. But like I said before, don't open a closet or a cupboard or look under the bed or anywhere that's behind a door, really. Because it's one of those things that's like, oh, out of sight, out of mind. So having said that, my cabinets in my kitchen were a bit of a mess. I didn't know what was in there. Nothing made sense. Nothing was easy. You'd go to make something for dinner or the kids' lunches, and it was just all over the place. Not conducive to just an easy kitchen experience. If that's a thing. I don't know if that's a thing. Anyway, so today we are tackling my cabinets. There is a few other organizational kitchen items that I didn't get to in this video, like my fridge. And what else? There was another Oh, I do definitely have a totally different plan for my pantry because it really didn't, it helped a bit, but not enough. So I have a whole new plan for my pantry. So make sure you stay tuned for that video. We do have quite a bit of DIYing to do. So that video is probably going to be a couple months down the road. Anyway, I digress. Let's just organize my kitchen because it's bad. As you can see, there is no rhyme or reason to this kitchen or this cabinet at all. I don't know what's in here. This silverware drawer is a mess. Trying to get anything out of any of these drawers, this drawer won't even open. Like, this is a problem. It's silverware and utensils shouldn't be this difficult. Dang it. But here we are. The spice cupboard, I don't know what's in here. I don't know what's crammed at the back. A lot of the stuff that's crammed at the back is probably stuff that I haven't seen in years, nor do I ever use. And oh my goodness, the Tupperware. Oh, the Tupperware. That's a whole nother situation. This cabinet in particular is one that is completely underutilized. It's a huge space, and really I use it for candles and my dog and cat food. And I really feel like that could be used for something better. Under the sink is a bit of a hot mess. There's all kinds of like plant products that it's not an organized space at all. So one of the first things that I wanted to do was kind of organize all of the packaging. I want to get rid of packaging. I want to streamline things. So the first thing I'm doing is decanting all of my spices and all of my things like flour and sugar and all those things that can be transferred into different containers. I'm going to go ahead and do all of that first. So I'll let you enjoy this footage of me struggling to decant all of my spices and pantry type items.
When we wake, hear the birds and see the sun. Side by side our fears are done. Oh, the good times just begun. We know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things are finally right. With you and I, the future is bright. Oh, you and I, we got it. We don't need no can weather any storm. Before I sleep, hear the crickets, see the moon. Side by side and through. No limit to what we can do. Oh, we know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things are finally right. With you and I, the future is bright. Oh, you and I, we got it. Oh, we don't need no more.
Okay, pardon the lighting. We are having some electrical issues here today. So needless to say, I'm really not going to be filming much today. But I wanted to show you guys these, so because they just came in. So these were those, if you watched my haul video, my kitchen decor haul video, I did mention that I got these arguably overpriced stickers or decals for the spice jars. So this is them. They just came in finally, but I really liked the font. They're super cute. So off camera, because of the lighting, I'm just going to go ahead and stick them all on, and then I'll show you guys what they look like when they're all done. I absolutely love it. I'm so excited to have everything like labeled and like an adult. Oh, I'm pretty excited. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'll show you what they look like. Actually, before I start, one of the cool things that I did want to show you is these come, so there's 2 sets of them. They come in black font and white font, depending on the containers that you're putting them on and depending on the background. Like if I had like a really dark spice or something and I put one of these on, it's really not going to show up. So I would use one of the white ones. I love that. So there are 4 sheets of each. And the other thing that I really like is they're alphabetical. So you don't have to go searching through like a whole bunch of different stickers to find the one that you need. It's all alphabetical. So somebody was seriously thinking when they made these, my only complaint, and literally my only complaint, is the fact that they're a little bit more expensive than I feel they should be. But I mean, you get what you pay for, and I really like the fact that, like I said, the font is cool. They have both colors. I like it. I like it. Anyway, so I wanted to show you that because I thought that was kind of cool. So in the spirit of getting rid of a lot of the packaging that's just sitting around, making the kitchen look cluttered, I picked up these really pretty oil and vinegar jars, containers, dispensers. And I really like these. They each came with an extra like pour spout. So I was so excited about the olive oil, and then I realized after I poured it in that we were almost out of olive oil. So that just kind of goes to show you that it's also kind of handy to have things like this that you can actually see. And then, so now we know that I'm almost out and we can go buy more. But this is just a really pretty, more clean and streamlined way of, you know, bottles displayed without them looking cluttered and messy. Love how these look. They work great. Goodbye. As in good purchase. Jeez. My next task was definitely to get rid of all of my flour and sugar and all of that extra packaging that was just not pretty and kind of hard to contain. It's like putting these elastics on it, and then inevitably the elastic would snap. I would end up with pasta or sugar or whatever all over the place. So I got these really cute glass containers. I picked them up. Actually, I think all of these were thrifted. So I got all of these secondhand. I took them home. I sanitized them, cleaned them all up, and they make the cutest little pantry jars. And then I've had these mason jars sitting around for like ever, and they were perfect for some of the smaller packages of rice. And so what I did was just so that we still have the instructions if there's anybody that happens to be making them, if one of the kids wants to make them or something like that. A couple of them I took a picture of, and then with this one I just cut a piece of the packaging out and just stuck the instructions right down, directions, not instructions. Oh goodness. Just down inside the container so that if anybody forgets how to make rice, they can, reference that. So we did the same thing with my pasta, although I'm going to have to get something else for the lasagna because the lasagna was just too long. But the spaghetti fit in there perfectly. So flour is always a big problem. I don't decant it, so it sits in that bag. And then I'm telling you guys, I cannot look at flour without getting absolutely covered in it. So this to me seemed like a much better solution. I can just pop the lid off if I want a little bit of flour. I can dip my little scoop in there, and it's so much easier to manage. This was an absolute necessity. I picked up these clear containers. I think it was at the Dollar Tree or Dollarama. I can't remember which, but these were the perfect size for all of our protein bars, granola bars, and school snacks. And it's so much easier to open the cupboard and see exactly what you have, so that the morning comes that you're making school snacks and oh my gosh, that box is empty because one of my darling children felt it necessary to put an empty box back in the cupboard. So this was an absolutely perfect thing. You can see what we've got. It's easy to grab and I love it. Then it was time to tackle this cabinet. I don't know what's in here. It's probably half expired. So I went ahead, cleaned everything out of there, cleaned the shelves off, and my organizational brain started going. So these bins were a perfect size for breads and buns and bagels and that kind of thing. They fit in there perfectly. Love how that just worked. And then I just really started moving things around, figuring out what works, and I got all of my baking supplies together. This was like a game changer for me because my baking supplies were literally scattered all over the kitchen. So this is really nice that they're all in one place. If I want to, bake something, I can just take the whole bin out, set it on the counter, use what I need, and then put it back. This one I used for just like, random cooking things, Mr. Noodles, just those little extra things, and it all just fit so perfectly in here. But I just go ahead and sort of tweak things as I go. Now, normally tea is supposed to be a calming thing, but I will tell you, this tea stressed me out. So I thought I was so incredibly clever because I used this little like drawer organizer for my tea, and then, oh no, it doesn't fit. So I'm like, okay, we'll try these. And then they were just slightly too tall, so the lid wouldn't fit on. So I'm trying to rack my brain and figure out a way to do this to make this work because dang it, I wanted to use this container. So I just kind of squished the top on. It wasn't ideal. But anyways, I managed to get all of my tea decanted into these boxes and bins, and it all finally worked out. But goodness, what a struggle that was. I know in the 8 times speed world, it didn't seem like that long, but I honestly probably struggled with this tea for an hour. Okay, so we have this drawer, or this cupboard, and I had everything. I had, the tea up here and all that kind of stuff, but I thought that this was a bit of a wasted space. So I'm going to use one of these little risers. They sit a little funky, but it'll straighten out. Those won't fit under there anymore, but that will. So there's that. And then I've got some more room on the top here that I can put these tea. Maybe sit one right there. And then I've got some room right here. I don't have anything off the top of my head that I can put here, but at least I have the option to stack them if I want to. So that's kind of handy. I was hoping that these guys would stack, but they don't. I wonder if I could do that. Ooh, that's a good idea. And then I'll probably turn that sideways. And then I can put another one here and have some extra space. Oh, okay. Let me grab another one of those. Okay, here's another one of these. These are just like the extras. So I'm actually just going to leave those back there. Maybe not. I'll probably find another spot for those. I would have liked to put them side by side, but it is what it is. So there we have another one for whatever we decide to use them from. Now, what I still need to do, I mean, ideally I'd like to invest in a Cricut, but I think that's still a little ways out. But in the meantime, I might buy one of those little labelers so I can just put like little labels on the front here. But I think that looks much better. It's much more organized. Everybody knows where everything is, and it's much more easily accessible. So I think that's pretty much it for that cabinet. Yay! So this is a cupboard that is largely underutilized. I just keep random junk in here, plus the animals' food. And I really wanted to use this spot for something better. So I thought this would be a perfect spot for my pots and pans. I love this lid organizer. Oh my goodness, you can just reach in and grab one. Genius. Now, pots and pans are a hard thing, in my opinion, to store anyway. They're kind of clunky. There's no real great way to make them fabulous unless you have like a large space. So I just kind of stacked the pans in the bottom, the pots and the bowls on top. And I mean, it's still much better. They're all in the same spot and they're semi-organized. Okay. This is going to be scary. Okay, so let's just start. So I've got these, which fit in here, despite what it looks like right now. So I do have 4 of them. I think only 3 of them are going to fit, which is fine, because I've got other uses for the other one. So there's a lot of stuff in here. Like, for example, we like sushi, and I keep all of these. Oh, that was a straw. Hold on. I'm hoping this system is going to work. It remains to be seen. We'll see. But I have all of these chopsticks, and I actually hang on to these for my plants because they're really handy for like a multitude of different things with plants. But they don't need to be in here. So I'm going to throw those over there. I don't really need to keep these, so I'm not gonna. So those are going to go in the garbage. Now, these I'm going to take out of the package. I keep these plastic spoons because I send the boys to school with yogurt and Jell-O and those kinds of things, and it never fails that if I send them a metal one, it doesn't come home. So I've started keeping extra spoons like from takeout or this or that or whatever, and then I just send them with the plastic one. That way, obviously, if it doesn't come home, then I don't really care. So I do like to keep these, but they tend to become a little messy, you know? So I guess the first step is just to take them out of the package. And I rewash these. I don't throw them out. I rewash them and reuse them. Because, especially those ones, I think those ones are from Wendy's, and I really like those ones. Yeah. They're black. They're kind of nice looking. So maybe what I'll do is I'll just keep those ones because that's enough for like a week. And then I'll get rid of all the other ones. All of these plastic forks we don't ever use. So these can all be recycled. That one. We got the Dairy Queen spoon. Doesn't need to be in there. So I'm just going to basically take everything out of here. And then we'll put it back in with some sort of methodical setup. That's the plan. Okay, I think we did pretty good. So in the top drawer here, we just have the basics that we use obviously most often, our forks and knives and spoons. I've got the plastic spoons up here for the boys' lunches. And then these little guys here, which I really like just for like odds and ends and little knickknacks. I really tried to put my little corn cob things in there, but the drawer wouldn't shut properly, so whatever. And I use a lot of elastics and like twist ties, mostly for my plant stuff. So I just kind of kept those in there. And they're all organized. Before, they were all kind of strewn around everything, and every time I would take a utensil out, I would have to like unwrap the elastic from around it, and it just obviously wasn't the most convenient. And then back here I just have our corn cob handles. We have our garlic press, our wine opener, can opener, sorry, words are hard today, and just a little adjustable measuring spoon. So I think it looks much better. It's much more organized, and it's going to be so much easier to keep clean. What I also like is a lot of the time, and I'm sure this happens to everybody, stuff kind of gets lands in here like crumbs, and I don't know how that happens, to be honest, because really it should only be clean things in here. But it's going to be so much more easy to just pop one of these out, clean it, stick it back in. So I really, really like how that looks. It looks nice and clean and organized. So the next one was a little bit more difficult. These aren't very wide drawers. And so really in here, it was more of just getting rid of stuff that I didn't use. Do I need 2 sets of measuring cups? No. And actually, you know what? I think I'll take these ones out and put these in the trailer, because they make more sense that way. So I'll put these in the trailer pile. And there. So we just have stuff that we actually use. We have, you know, our lemon squeezer, our ice cream scoop, potato masher. This one's like so old school, but I love this one so much. They don't make things like they used to anymore, so I've hung on to that one for years because of that. One of the whisks. We definitely need to get new tongs. These were like cheapy ones from the dollar store, and they've seen definitely better days, so I'm on the hunt for new ones of those. But other than that, it's neat, it's organized. It's going to be much easier to like find what you're looking for rather than try to dig through a bunch of stuff and then take 20 minutes trying to get the drawer to close again, because that was a major problem. The next drawer here was kind of already organized. After I painted the drawers and put them back in, I just reorganized my towels. So my dishcloths are in the front, my towels are in the back, and it's pretty much as easy as that. And this bottom drawer, oh, something's catching. Oh, hold on. So this bottom drawer here, it's a little bit unorganized, but those I actually have to put on the stove, so I'll take those out. But it's kind of I mean, it's not that bad. It's just the paper bags for the boys' lunches, my cling wrap, and our sandwich bags. And then I just have like one of these things in here. Well, I don't even know why I'm keeping this, to be honest. And then the bulbs that go with it. And this is just a little toolkit for, you know, small jobs and stuff like that. But other than that, it's really not that bad. What we do use frequently is right on the top. We can access them easily. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So that is those drawers done. Whew, finally. And now we move on to this cabinet. I mean, it's not horrible, but it definitely could use a little bit of tweaking. So I basically just went through, pulled everything out, and put these risers in, which were quite a help actually, and just tried to make it organized-ish. That's the word we're going with. It's now organized-ish. we go. I think that looks pretty good. The stuff in the back we don't use as often, so I just kind of arranged it so that the things at the front are the stuff that we grab most often, but I can still access the stuff at the back and see what I've actually got. This may change, I don't know, we'll see, but for now, that's all of the spices. Down here is pretty much just like random things. Our cooking oils. These are some base tomato sauces, our Ovaltine, vinegar, baking soda. So it's pretty much organized as it is. There's not really a whole lot down there. But yeah, so I think that's good for these two. Okay, so I've saved the best for last. This is probably the most problematic, stressful part of the entire kitchen. So this is really deep, and it is quite literally 100% full of just like all Tupperware. Now, if you watched my repainting my cabinets video, I explained that I don't know why this happens, but I tend to keep like all containers, takeout containers, like margarine containers, pretty much everything. And I'm like, oh, that's a good container. We can use that down the road. But realistically speaking, we only cycle through maybe 10 to 20 of these actual Tupperware containers. So today I'm going to drag this all out, make a total mess all over the floor. We're going to go through what we need to keep or can keep or should keep, and things that we really don't need. So I'm hoping by the end of this, my main goal is to have 2 bins on the top here, one with lids, one with containers, and that will be all. And then the bottom space can be used for something else. I don't know what. Other things and activities and whatever. So that's the goal here. So the first step is to take everything out. So let's just go ahead and start that. So I'm going to pull it out, and just off camera, I'm going to kind of stack it over here for now. And then once we get everything out, we can actually go through and sort everything. There's this. This is crazy. Nobody needs this much Tupperware. You just don't. So, we're gonna go through it. Oh, this is so bad. All right. Well, no time like the present to get started. So my goal here was basically just to go through all of this stuff, get rid of, recycle all of the things that I don't need, don't use, all of those old margarine tins and takeout containers that are just taking up space. Get rid of those. I took all of the stuff I'm going to keep and made sure that everything that I was keeping had a matching lid. And that was pretty much the thought process going through this. And oh my goodness, the amount of recyclables, I tell you, our recycling guys probably thought I was crazy after that week. Ivy. Thanks. Can you not? Okay, so we did it. We have everything here has lids. I don't have any containers that don't have lids that match. So this should be a lot easier to contain on one shelf. So I'm gonna go ahead and try now to cram everything back in here neatly and organized in make sense type of manner. Okay, so I have a bunch of bins that I got for just organizing in general. Unfortunately, these are too long to fit one and then another one. They obviously won't fit side to side, and none of the other containers that I have will fit either at the end of this one or turn sideways, fit in there at all. So I think what I might do is I'm going to use, I think this Tupperware will fit sideways. No! Yeah. Okay, will it fit there then? No. All right, I'm gonna have to find something to put the lids in, but I think I'm...
What about on the bottom?
Well, I know, but I was trying to save like a whole shelf, you know? I mean, it may not be possible. Anyway, so what we're gonna do for now is take all the lids off. We'll get all of the actual Tupperware organized and put away. And hope. I'm hoping that I have just enough that will fill the top. Okay, so I got all the lids off everything, and this is all we have to put in there. Oh my goodness, that is such a big change from all of the junk that we took out. So I think this will easily stack in there. I think I'm just going to use one bin for the lids, and then the rest of this stuff should stack nicely in front of it. We don't use the lids as often as we use the containers for a lot of this stuff. Yeah, so I think this should easily go back in. Let's give her a shot. Okay. I think we're gonna do all of the lids here. That will keep them all nice and contained. We have the little ones, and then we have the really little ones. There we go. All the lids are nice and organized. Okay. So maybe what I'll do is I'll use this one for the bottom, and I'll put a lot of the smaller ones in it, because the smaller ones tend to get shuffled around and mixed up. There we go. And then we have these, those, there. And we can stick our ice cube trays right there on the top. Ta-da! Look at that. Everything's all neat and tidy. And we have the stuff that we grab at right at the front. Super easy to get to. Pop back, pull that out, grab a lid. Bob's your uncle. We have organized Tupperware. Woohoo! Another thing that I really had to work through in my brain was what I realistically need and use and want to hold on to going forward. And I think that was evident most evidently. What? I think that was most evident in my drawers. I tend to just hang on to things like just in case. And a lot of the time, yes, I do use a lot of those just in case items. Maybe not to the extent that I have collected them, but I definitely use things like that. But I also hang on to things for years and years and years that I haven't used in the last 10 years. And I am likely not going to use at least in the next year or two. So that was really like an eye-opener for me, taking everything out of a drawer or a cupboard and going, okay, is this necessary? The answer most frequently was no, it's not. Do you need 3 sets of dishes plus the plastic dishes that the children had when they were, you know, all breaky with dishes, and all the plastic bowls and the mismatched cups and stuff like that? No, I don't. Like, I don't need all of that extra stuff. So I really did a big declutter at the same time as doing all this organization. And I will tell you, it feels so good. So if you're in that position, just take everything out of one space at a time. You don't need to tackle the whole thing in a day. But even if you can do like 1 drawer a day or 1/2 of a cupboard a day, I promise you, you will feel so much better. It feels good when your house is clean and it's orderly and it's not messy and chaotic. I don't know about you guys, but I think it's an actual like psychological thing. When you live and work in a messy environment, it's harder to put thoughts together. It's harder to like get your shit together because you live and you're constantly looking at all of this chaos and mess. When you have a clean environment that's, you know, things are easily accessible and organized, it's much easier to organize your thoughts as well and the rest of your life. Everything just kind of like falls into line. So this has been a huge help for me. It has been a wonderful experience. I highly recommend you try this at home if you're not already completely organized and put together. And if you are, I hope I can stay in that same boat with you ongoing. I think I've gotten it to a place where it's maintainable and manageable. Maintainable? Is the word right? Anyway, it's definitely something that's manageable that I think I can maintain on an ongoing basis. And that's the other, I think, major key is that it needs to be functional, but you don't want it to get to the point where it's not something that you're going to maintain ongoing. So, you know, try things out, try them for a few weeks. If it doesn't work, maybe tweak them a little bit. You know, not every organizational situation is going to work in practicality and like on a day-to-day basis, but it can definitely give you a place to start. And like I said, you can always tweak it after. I've already done some tweaking, changing some things that work better, but that are still organized yet manageable. Well, thank you guys so much for coming along on this organizational journey with me. I have a long way to go and there's still a lot that I want to do. But this is a huge step in the right direction and I had a great time doing it. And now I just want to organize the rest of my entire house, but we'll get there. Baby steps. Anyway, so make sure you stay tuned next week for my next video. I'm not entirely sure. I have a few options of what to do next week. I think I may actually do like a top 10 kitchen Amazon favorites video. I have found some products that I have been using and I am obsessed with. So if you would like to see that video, go ahead and let me know down in the comments. And that will give me some time to finish up some of the other projects in the kitchen and maybe we can just kind of like, you know, change it up every now and then. So anyway, let me know. Would you rather see another episode of something that I'm changing in the kitchen, or would you rather see a top 10 kitchen Amazon favorites, I don't know what I'm going to call it yet, type video? Because I have some products that are like, and I really want to tell you about them. But it's up to you guys. Let me know what you want to see. If you have any other ideas or, you know, comments, video requests or whatever, please go ahead and throw them down in the comments. I have been a little slack with comments on both channels lately, just because I've really been struggling to get everything put together and figured out in my head because it's all new for me, right? Oh. Anyway, thank you guys so much again for being so patient. Thank you so much for liking and watching and commenting and subscribing. If you're not subscribed already, please consider doing so. It is a huge help to my channel, and I personally really do appreciate it. I would like you all to have an amazing and wonderful day, night, week, month, and year. I love you all to bitty bits, and I'll see you in the next video. Mwah!